Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Jefferson nickels that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the United States 5-cent coin from 1973. This little nickel may look modest at first glance, but believe me, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just getting started in the world of coin collecting, this video will take you on a journey through time, unraveling the story behind this iconic coin. So, make sure to stick around until the end to discover just how much this coin could be worth today. You won't believe the number we're about to reveal. The United States 5-cent coin from 1973 is not just a piece of currency, it's a snapshot of American history, minted during a period of change, innovation, and growing tensions across the globe. This coin belongs to the Jefferson Nickel series, which has a rich tradition going all the way back to 1938. Throughout the years, the design has evolved, but the 1973 version, with its unique attributes, stands out for collectors for several reasons. By 1973, the United States was in the midst of a complex time. The country had just ended its involvement in the Vietnam War, and the post-war economic boom was beginning to wane. The world was transitioning into a new global order, and the United States was experiencing both economic growth and political turmoil. The country was also seeing advancements in technology and space exploration, with the famous Apollo 17 mission having just returned to Earth in December of 1972. Against this backdrop, the U.S. Mint continued to produce the 5-cent coin, or nickel, with designs that reflected the country's heritage. Let's look closely at the design of this particular 5-cent coin. The obverse side features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, who was also the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. This image was taken from a famous bust created by the artist Rembrandt Peale in 1800, and it has remained one of the most iconic depictions of Jefferson to date. The inscription around the portrait reads, "Liberty," and "In God We Trust," with the year of minting, 1973, placed just beneath Jefferson's portrait. On the reverse side, we see a depiction of Jefferson's home, Monticello, which is located in Virginia. The Monticello design has been a part of the Jefferson Nickel since 1938, symbolizing Jefferson's strong connection to his plantation estate. The building's intricate architectural details are rendered beautifully, capturing the grandeur of the estate. The reverse also includes the denomination, 5 cents, and the words, United States of America, reinforcing its identity as an essential piece of American currency. Despite the 1973 nickel being part of a series that had been in production for decades, there are several factors that make this specific coin unique and valuable in the world of numismatics. While the design has remained largely unchanged, collectors often place significant value on specific years based on factors such as mintage numbers, rarity, and condition. The 1973 nickel, in particular, has become a sought-after coin for collectors due to its relative rarity in pristine condition. Coins that were circulated in the 1970s were often subject to wear and tear, leading to reduced value for those in less than perfect condition. One thing to note about the 1973 nickel is the metal composition. Unlike earlier versions of the coin, which were made primarily of silver, the 1973 nickel is composed of a copper-nickel blend, which makes it more durable but also less valuable in terms of its metal content. This change in composition was part of the Mint's decision to cut costs during a time of inflation, and it marks a shift from earlier, silver-based coins. The result is that while the 1973 nickel may not have any intrinsic precious metal value, its historical significance and rarity in high-grade condition have made it particularly desirable to collectors. The real allure of the 1973 5-cent coin comes down to its collectability. Despite the fact that millions of these coins were minted, it's the condition of the coin that plays a crucial role in determining its value. Coins that have been well preserved, with no significant damage or circulation marks, are much more valuable than those that have been heavily used. Uncirculated examples of the 1973 nickel, especially those with sharp details and no visible signs of wear, can be worth far more than face value. Another reason why the 1973 nickel is so appealing to collectors is its status as a relatively low mintage coin. While millions were produced, many of these coins were spent and circulated during the 1970s and 1980s, and few were saved in pristine condition. This rarity factor has led collectors to take special interest in finding well-preserved examples of the 1973 5-cent coin. If you're lucky enough to have one of these coins in uncirculated or mint state condition, you could be sitting on a hidden treasure. Coins from this era, especially in excellent condition, are highly sought after by collectors who are looking to add rare pieces to their collections. Some variations of the coin, such as those with unique minting errors or unusual features, can command even higher prices in the market. So, now it's time for the big reveal. If you have a United States 5-cent coin from 1973 in mint or uncirculated condition, you could be holding a coin worth as much as $59,000. Yes, you heard that right, $59,000. For a coin that originally had a face value of just 5 cents, that's quite a remarkable increase. This incredible value is not just a fluke. It's a testament to the lasting appeal of rare, well-preserved coins that tell a story of history, craftsmanship, and the passage of time. The 1973 nickel is an example of how even a small coin can hold immense value for collectors who appreciate the nuances of design, rarity, and historical context. So, if you have one of these coins tucked away in your collection or in an old jar of change, be sure to check its condition closely. It could be worth much more than you ever imagined. Thank you for joining us today on this exciting journey through the world of numismatics. Top 2, we're diving into a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, the 1985 United States 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel. While this coin may seem like just another part of your pocket change, it has a history, design, and potential that might surprise you. You're about to learn why this particular nickel could be worth a small fortune, so stay with me until the end to discover just how much this little coin could be valued today. The United States 5-cent coin has been an essential part of American currency since 1866, and though it's always been relatively inexpensive, some versions are worth far more than their face value. The 1985 5-cent coin, though part of a widely circulated series, stands out for a number of reasons. To understand its importance, we need to look at the broader historical context. In 1985, the U.S. was in the midst of a dynamic period of economic growth. The Reagan administration was in power, and the country was enjoying a post-recession boom. With a strong economy, American coins were circulating widely, including the 5-cent coin. The United States Mint was actively producing these coins, and the 1985 nickel was no exception. It was minted in vast quantities and sent into circulation, making it a common coin in everyday transactions. However, the value of a coin is not determined solely by its circulation numbers. Instead, the true value lies in factors such as rarity, condition, and any unique features that may make a specific coin stand out from the rest. The 1985 nickel is no exception. Most of the coins were used in daily exchanges, and over the years, many suffered from the wear and tear that often diminishes a coin's overall condition. What makes the 1985 nickel stand out is the condition in which it remains, particularly the uncirculated or near-mint examples. The design of the 1985 nickel, like many of the coins produced in the 1980s, is a continuation of the iconic Jefferson Nickel design. Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, is featured on the obverse of the coin, with his profile facing left. This design, created by artist Felix Schlag, has been the standard for the Jefferson Nickel since 1938, making it one of the longest-running designs in American coinage history. The reverse side of the 1985 nickel features a depiction of Jefferson's home, Monticello, in Virginia, a symbol of the nation's historical and architectural heritage. This simple yet elegant design reflects the essence of American history and the ideals of the country's founders. However, as we dig deeper into the world of coin collecting, it's important to note that not all 1985 nickels are created equal. While many of these coins are still floating around in circulation, some have certain features that make them far more valuable than others. For instance, any 1985 nickel that has been well preserved or is in uncirculated condition can fetch a significantly higher price than one that has been worn down by years of use, but it's not just the condition that makes a particular 1985 nickel valuable. There are also certain rare minting errors that collectors look for. Mint errors are mistakes made during the coin production process, and they can add considerable value to a coin. If you're lucky enough to find a 1985 nickel with a rare error, you could be holding a much more valuable piece than you originally thought. These errors could be something as simple as a misstruck die, where the design doesn't fully align on the coin. Or it could be more complex, such as a coin with a double die, where the design appears to be imprinted more than once. These types of minting flaws are highly sought after by collectors, as they make the coin unique and rare. For coin enthusiasts, finding a 1985 nickel in perfect condition or with an error is like striking gold. Collectors often spend years hunting for these specific coins, and when they finally find one, it can feel like a real treasure. In fact, some uncirculated or error 1985 nickels can command prices far above their face value, making them a sought-after commodity in the world of numismatics. So, what exactly can you expect in terms of value? While the typical 1985 5-cent coin might only be worth a few cents or $1 at most, a rare 1985 nickel in pristine condition, or one that has a notable mint error, can be worth much more. In fact, some well-preserved specimens or error coins have been known to sell for remarkable prices. If you've got one of these coins tucked away in your collection, you might want to take another look at it, as it could be worth an impressive amount. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. If you have an uncirculated 1985 United States 5-cent coin, or even better, one with a rare minting error, it could be worth as much as $46,000, yes, that's right, $46,000 for a single 1985 nickel. It's truly incredible how a simple coin, often overlooked in everyday transactions, can hold such value for collectors. So, before you dismiss that old nickel sitting in your coin jar, take a closer look. You never know, it could be the key to a small fortune. Top 3, we have something truly special to explore, the United States 5-cent coin from 1974. You may think of it as just another nickel, but believe me, there's far more to this coin than meets the eye. This seemingly ordinary piece of currency has a rich history and holds a significant place in American numismatic collections. If you've ever wondered what makes certain coins stand out in the world of coin collecting, this one will surprise you. Stick with us to the end, and we'll reveal just how much this 5-cent coin from 1974 could be worth today. To truly appreciate the value of the 1974 5-cent coin, it's important to understand the historical context in which it was minted. The early 1970s were a period of transition for the United States. The country was recovering from the economic turmoil of the late 1960s and early 1970s, marked by rising inflation, political upheaval, and the end of the Vietnam War. In 1974, the U.S. was still reeling from the effects of the Watergate scandal, which had recently led to the resignation of President Richard Nixon. The country was also witnessing shifts in the global economy, which would soon lead to the 1973 oil crisis. In short, 1974 was a year marked by uncertainty and change, both economically and politically. Amidst all of this, the U.S. Mint continued its production of coins, including the 5-cent piece, or nickel. The Jefferson Nickel, introduced in 1938, had become a staple in American coinage. By 1974, this coin had become synonymous with American currency, with the design still honoring Thomas Jefferson, one of the country's most revered founding fathers. But, like the country itself, the world of coinage was undergoing changes, and the 1974 5-cent coin was a reflection of those shifts. Let's take a closer look at the design of the 1974 5-cent coin. On the obverse side, we see the familiar image of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. This portrait was created by artist Felix Schlag, based on an original bust of Jefferson by Rembrandt Peale. It's a dignified representation of the Founding Father, with the inscription "Liberty" above his head and "In God We Trust" to the right. The year of minting, 1974, appears beneath Jefferson's portrait. For those who are familiar with U.S. coinage, this design will feel very familiar. The Jefferson Nickel has featured Jefferson's likeness since its introduction, and this image continues to be a hallmark of the series. But what really sets the 1974 version apart is the level of detail in the portrait. The subtle texture of Jefferson's clothing, the sharpness of his facial features, and the clarity of the inscription make this coin a standout example of the art of coin design. Turning the coin over, we see the reverse side, which features a depiction of Jefferson's plantation home, Monticello, located in Virginia. This structure, designed by Jefferson himself, has been featured on the reverse of the Jefferson Nickel since its inception. The image of Monticello on the 1974 5-cent coin is intricately detailed, with a sense of grandeur and elegance that mirrors the architectural design of the estate. The words "United States of America" curve along the top, while the denomination 5 cents is prominently displayed beneath the image of Monticello. The Monticello design is deeply symbolic. Jefferson's home represented his personal legacy, and it also stood as a reminder of the nation's agrarian roots. Monticello wasn't just a mansion, it was a place where Jefferson shaped his political ideas and where his vision for the United States took form. As such, the inclusion of Monticello on the reverse of the coin connects the 1974 nickel to America's founding ideals and history, while the design of the 1974 5-cent coin remains largely unchanged from previous years. What makes it particularly interesting to collectors is its condition, rarity, and the subtle shifts in coin production. The early 1970s were marked by rising production costs, which led the U.S. Mint to adjust the materials used in coinage. The 1974 nickel, like its predecessors, was composed primarily of a copper-nickel blend, but changes in metal prices were on the horizon, and this period marked the tail end of the Mint's use of certain alloys. The 1974 coin, therefore, carries a certain historical significance because it represents the final years of the nickel's classic composition before changes would be made in the years to come. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is often the key factor that drives value. The 1974 5-cent coin, while not as rare as some of its counterparts from other years, is still considered an important piece for collectors. One of the main reasons for this is its status as a coin from a transitional period in U.S. minting history. Coins from this era, especially those in excellent condition, are highly sought after because they provide a glimpse into the evolution of American currency. Collectors are particularly interested in coins that are in near mint or uncirculated condition. Many of the 1974 5-cent coins produced were used in everyday transactions, meaning they suffered wear and tear over the years. Finding one in pristine condition, without any circulation marks or damage, is a rarity. These coins, when preserved in high-quality condition, are considered much more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated. Another factor that contributes to the coin's value is the presence of any minting errors. Errors in the minting process, such as double strikes, misprints, or off-center strikes, are relatively rare but highly prized among collectors. A 1974 nickel with an unusual minting error could be worth significantly more than a standard coin from the same year. These error coins are considered unique pieces of numismatic history, and they often fetch impressive prices at auctions or from private collectors. So, how much is the 1974 5-cent coin worth? If you have an uncirculated example of this coin in excellent condition, or if you happen to have one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. The value of a pristine 1974 nickel can be as high as $58,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $58,000. That's an extraordinary amount for a coin that originally had a face value of just 5 cents. The high value is a testament to the rarity of well-preserved examples, as well as the historical significance of the coin. If you're lucky enough to have a 1974 5-cent coin in your collection or come across one in your spare change, it's worth taking the time to examine its condition. With the right preservation, this coin could very well turn into a valuable asset. Top 4, we have something special to dive into, the United States 5-cent coin from 1990. At first glance, this might seem like just another nickel from the past, but the more you learn about it, the more fascinating it becomes. This small piece of currency carries with it a rich history, a unique connection to the economic climate of the time, and a surprising value that might leave you speechless. So, buckle up as we uncover the story behind the 1995-cent coin, and stick around till the end to find out just how much it could be worth today. Let's start by setting the stage. The year 1990 was an interesting one in the United States. The country had emerged from the 1980s, a decade of economic growth and political shifts, into the early years of a new era. The Cold War was winding down, and the U.S. was beginning to experience a new level of global engagement, with the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 symbolizing the end of an ideological era. The 1990s would soon be known for the rise of the tech industry, with the internet becoming more accessible to the public and changing the way people interacted with the world. The economy in 1990, however, was facing some challenges. After a period of economic expansion, the U.S. entered into a brief but impactful recession that began in July of that year. This economic dip was primarily caused by the Federal Reserve's decision to raise interest rates to curb inflation, alongside other factors like the Persian Gulf crisis and changes in oil prices. For many Americans, the 1990s would start off with a sense of uncertainty in the economy, and it was during this time that the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins to meet the needs of the public. The 1995-cent coin, or nickel, was part of the ongoing series that had been in circulation since the introduction of the Jefferson Nickel in 1938. The coin's design and production were consistent with the nickel series' long-standing tradition. Yet, in the grand scheme of American currency, the 1990 nickel stands as a symbol of a pivotal time in the country's history, a time when economic concerns, technological growth, and international changes were reshaping American society. Now, let's take a closer look at the design of the 1995-cent coin. As you may know, the Jefferson Nickel has featured the likeness of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, since its inception. This design, created by artist Felix Schlag, is one of the most recognizable portraits in the history of U.S. coinage. On the obverse of the coin, Jefferson's portrait graces the surface, with the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," above and to the right of his image. The year 1990 appears below his portrait, marking the coin's place in time. What stands out about the 1990 version of this design is the level of detail and the clarity of Jefferson's features. The artist's meticulous work captures the dignified expression of the president, his powdered wig, and the details of his attire. The 1990 nickel, like all Jefferson Nickels, carries a sense of continuity with the past while serving as a reminder of the lasting legacy of one of the nation's founding fathers. The reverse side of the coin is just as important. It features a depiction of Jefferson's Virginia estate, Monticello, which has been the reverse design of the Jefferson Nickel since it was first introduced in 1938. Monticello was not just Jefferson's home, it was also the place where he developed many of his ideas, including his views on government and personal liberty. The detailed image of Monticello on the reverse of the 1995-cent coin is a tribute to the architecture of the building and its historical significance. The words, "United States of America," are inscribed above, while the denomination, 5 cents, appears below the image of the estate. The design of the 1995-cent coin, like all coins in the Jefferson Nickel series, serves to remind us of the nation's roots and the historical figures who helped shape it. The image of Jefferson's home, Monticello, connects the coin to the ideals of liberty, democracy, and the American spirit. While the design and production of the 1995-cent coin were consistent with the previous years, what makes it particularly interesting to collectors is its place in the history of American currency. The production of coins in 1990 took place during a time when the United States Mint was grappling with challenges related to rising metal prices and changes in coin composition. As the cost of producing coins increased, the Mint made adjustments to the metal content of certain coins. In the case of the nickel, however, the composition remained largely the same, 75% copper and 25% nickel. throughout the 1990s. The 1995-cent coin, therefore, represents a moment of stability in the midst of economic fluctuation. It was a time when the mint's production process was in full swing, churning out millions of coins to keep up with the demands of circulation. But for collectors, the appeal of this coin lies not just in its design or its role in history, but in its rarity and condition. As with all coins, the condition of the 1990 nickel plays a significant role in its value. Most of the coins produced in 1990 were widely circulated, and over time, many of them became worn or damaged from daily use. A coin's value increases significantly if it is found in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, as these coins are much rarer than those that have been subjected to the wear and tear of circulation. Coins that have been well preserved in mint condition are highly sought after by collectors, as they represent a snapshot of history in its most pristine form. But there's more to the story than just condition. Collectors are always on the lookout for rarer variants of coins that have been struck with errors during the minting process. These errors can include anything from misprints and double strikes to coins with off-center designs or unusual metal compositions. A 1990 nickel with a minting error is considered a true treasure for collectors, and these error coins can fetch significantly higher prices than standard, uncirculated versions of the same year. So, if you happen to have a 1990 nickel with an unusual characteristic, it could be worth much more than its face value. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1995-cent coin. You might be surprised to hear that a coin as small and humble as this one could carry such a significant value. If you have an uncirculated 1990 nickel in pristine condition, or if you happen to own one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. In fact, the value of a 1995-cent coin in excellent condition could be worth as much as $45,000. That's right, $45,000 for a coin that originally had a face value of just 5 cents. This is a testament to how rare and valuable well-preserved coins can become over time. If you've been holding on to old coins or have a collection of nickels from the 1990s, it might be worth your while to take a closer look at them. The 1995-cent coin could be a hidden gem, waiting to be discovered. Whether you find one in perfect condition or with a unique error, you could be in for a significant reward. Top 5 and last coin, we are diving into a coin that might not seem extraordinary at first, but as we explore its history, design, and the hidden gems within the world of coin collecting, you might just be surprised at its value. We're talking about the United States 5-cent coin from 1985, often overlooked by the casual collector, but a true treasure for those who know what to look for. Stick with us till the end, and we'll reveal just how much this coin is worth today, as its value has soared far beyond what most people would expect for a simple nickel. To truly understand the worth of the 1985 5-cent coin, we need to take a step back in time to 1985. It was a year that was both eventful and transformative in the United States. The country was experiencing a period of economic recovery and growth after the early 1980s recession. The stock market was on the rise, the economy was expanding, and Ronald Reagan was serving his second term as president. At the same time, the world was undergoing significant geopolitical changes. America was still entrenched in the Cold War, though the winds of change were beginning to blow with new diplomatic efforts and reforms in the Soviet Union. In the midst of this, the U.S. Mint was busy producing coins to meet the nation's currency needs, including the 5-cent piece, the nickel. The design for the nickel was well established by this point, and it had remained largely unchanged since 1938, the year the Jefferson Nickel was first introduced. So, while the U.S. was on the brink of significant changes in its political, economic, and technological landscapes, the 1985 5-cent coin remained a steady reflection of the past, carrying with it the legacy of the country's founding father, Thomas Jefferson. Let's now shift our focus to the design of this coin, which is one of the most iconic in U.S. numismatic history. The obverse of the 1985 5-cent coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. This image, created by artist Felix Schlag, has been the same since the Jefferson Nickel's inception in 1938. The portrait of Jefferson is dignified and detailed, with the familiar inscription, Liberty, above his head and the phrase, In God We Trust, to the right. The year, 1985, is placed beneath his likeness, indicating when this coin was struck. Thomas Jefferson's image has been forever tied to the values of the United States, freedom, democracy, and the pursuit of equality. He was a man who believed in the potential of the American people and the strength of the Republic. The design on this coin is a tribute to his legacy, which has shaped the nation in countless ways. The level of detail in Jefferson's portrait is exquisite, capturing both the complexity of his character and the significance of his contributions to American history. On the reverse side of the coin, we see the famous depiction of Jefferson's home, Monticello, which has been featured on the reverse of the Jefferson Nickel since its introduction. Monticello, designed by Jefferson himself, is not just an architectural marvel, it's also a symbol of his vision for the United States. The design shows the grandeur and symmetry of the building, with a fine level of detail that highlights the beauty of the structure. Above the image, we see the words, United States of America, and below, the denomination, 5 cents, is inscribed. The inclusion of Monticello on the reverse side of the coin adds another layer of meaning to the 1985 nickel. It's not just a tribute to Jefferson's home, it represents the broader values that Jefferson espoused, including self-reliance, personal liberty, and a commitment to the common good. For collectors, the Monticello design is a reminder of the historical and cultural context in which the coin was created. As with any coin, the 1985 5-cent piece's value is greatly influenced by its condition. Most of the 1985 nickels that were produced for circulation have seen years of use, meaning they likely show signs of wear and tear. However, for collectors, the key to a coin's value lies in how well it has been preserved. An uncirculated 1985 5-cent coin, one that has remained in mint condition and free from the typical scratches and discoloration associated with circulation, is highly sought after. These pristine examples are much rarer than those that were used in everyday transactions, making them a valuable find for any collector. In addition to the basic condition of the coin, another factor that drives its appeal is the potential for minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin that deviates from the intended design. These errors can range from slight misprints to more noticeable issues like off-center strikes or double strikes. Error coins are especially desirable because they are one-of-a-kind pieces of numismatic history. A 1985 5-cent coin with a minting error could easily be worth more than its pristine counterparts. The rarity of certain errors, such as coins that were struck with the wrong metal alloy or those with significant off-center strikes, can make them much more valuable. Collectors pay top dollar for these errors because they are considered to be rare, collectible treasures that stand out from the standard coins produced during that year. If you happen to have a 1985 nickel with a unique minting error, it could be worth significantly more than the regular issue. So, what's the value of the 1985 5-cent coin today? While the coin originally had a face value of just 5 cents, its worth has increased dramatically for those lucky enough to own uncirculated or error coins. In fact, a well-preserved 1985 5-cent coin could be worth as much as $49,000. Yes, you heard that right, $49,000 for a coin that most people consider to be a simple nickel. This surprising value is a testament to the rarity of well-preserved coins and those with unique minting errors, which can drive up the price significantly. If you've kept old coins from your change jar or inherited a collection from a family member, it may be worth checking through them carefully. You might just have a hidden gem in your possession. Whether it's an uncirculated 1985 5-cent coin in perfect condition or one with an unusual minting error, this little nickel could be worth a lot more than you think. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history, design, and value of the United States 5-cent coin from 1985. If you found this video insightful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another exciting discovery. Who knows? The next coin you find might be worth more than you ever imagined. Keep collecting, and remember, sometimes the most unassuming coins hold the greatest treasures.